Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about Lego, review those amazing bricks of plastic, and discuss what is new and up-and-coming around the Lego world. I'm your Minifigure host, Matt. Let's build on it. Welcome in, everybody. How are we doing today? Just a little Ron Burgundy thrown in there, of course, you know. Anyway, today we are here with a Lego Masters exit interview for Christine Tacos and Michelle to discuss what it was like on Lego Masters and, you know, where they are as of right now. So let's go ahead and jump into this lovely interview with some of my Lego Masters colleagues, folk, and I hope you enjoy it.
Disappointed I'm seeing you so soon. I loved your builds. I have to call out specifically the one that you did for the rodeo. I thought that was just a fantastic build with the hair that moved while the bucking bronco. I thought that was amazing.
Thank you.
So in that vein, my first question for you is, there's a dozen teams, you know, and it gets smaller each one, but I mean, there's many. And each build is shown on screen for about 10 seconds when you mix it on TV. I'm curious, what parts of your builds, what details of your builds that you're particularly proud of that might not have been shown on the show?
You want to go first, Mommy?
Are we talking for a specific build?
Any one of them.
I'm still a little crushed about the first episode. I feel like we weren't in the first episode. We had an entire dance room, you know, our families were featured. We had a rotating like dance floor there. We didn't use the LED. Well, actually we did use the light bricks, right?
Yes, so, we did. And they didn't show. I know it's hard. It's hard, like all the work you put into. For me, it was the Rivera Maya build because it was a huge build. We were building like blah, 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 at the speed of light, and it was featured 5 seconds, and there were so many stories around it. And I think that one for me is the one that I would have loved to see more of it.
With the special effect, I noticed that they weren't motorizing my stuff, and our stuff was actually motorized. And pterodactyls were actually spinning at the same time, and it's like, why is it? So it's almost as if it was in sync. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but that's it. That's all I got.
Well, good. Yeah, I wish we could have seen more details on all of them. I'm curious with respect to what did you find to be the most challenging of building on set? I mean, you're both experienced Lego builders, but we all have our own routine and where you know where everything is, and you're there under the lights with cameras and the time pressure. What was the hardest thing for you for building on there?
The hardest for me, it's the amount of ice that you have on you. It's very overwhelming, especially because you try to bottle everything up. Like you try to not show because they're onto you. They're listening, they're looking. So it is very overwhelming thinking that you can't mess up and you have to do like amazing all the time, which is impossible. So we all have our process as artists. So we have ups and downs, but oh my God, the camera loves just like being on there on the worst time. So I think that for me, because I have my process, my way of processing stress. And a lot of it is just like stepping back and calm myself down and come back, you know, and it's hard when you don't have that.
With me, I feel like I don't speak English because I don't understand the rules sometimes. Sometimes the themes are a bit ambiguous, so we're all like, wait, what are we supposed to do? So there's a lot of questioning. So that would have to be part of it.
Yeah, especially because they give you the briefing and then that's it. Like, go build.
It's like, well, what are we supposed to do? What's a theme again? So, you know, and that the Clockosaurus, is that what
It comes, yeah.
It's running. So like you're wasting time just asking questions again. Like, wait, what are we supposed to do? What are the dimensions again? What's the rules again? So that was probably my most frustrating.
Yeah.
I've heard contestants talk about the clock before, but this is the first time I've heard it called a clockosaurus. I think that might have to be the new unofficial name for it.
Yes, you have a way of naming stuff.
No, that's Moto. I believe that was Moto. So.
Oh, really?
And the last question I have for Brixet before I move to the True North Bricks questions is, what is your favorite memory from being on the set or being part of Lego Masters?
The hype up. The hype up we used to do before each episode. I get goosebumps when I think about it. And whenever we are together, like the cast members and we do that, it's just like, it just takes me back to that moment of, it doesn't matter if it is a competition, like the bond between us, it just makes me, I don't know, be very grateful for all of that. And I would say that for me, the hype up before every episode with the firefighters.
Yeah, thanks to Crash. Crash is one of the seasons. For me, is as soon, like it's almost like a woman in labor. That's graphic, I know. But like as soon as, she pushes, and then that release, like, we may go home, we may not, but it's done.
It's done.
So that woosah feeling, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's it.
That sounds like something I don't think I would ever forget either. Okay, so I'll put on my True North Bricks hat on now. The first question that I've got for you is the episode last night. It looked like you were struggling with some creativity block at the beginning. We have all been there. I mean, if you're a Lego builder and you want to build something, but you just can't get past it. What did you learn from the experience that might help others?
Don't think of registered brands. That was our problem. We kept coming up with ideas that couldn't make it on the show.
We also, although we're both Hispanic, both Latina, she's Mexican, I'm Dominican. Something as simple as being on the same wavelength of what fairy tales might be different. I'm Americanized, she's not Americanized. So her idea of what fairy tales is different from my idea. So even though we have a similar background, even though we didn't were raised together, having a similar background, still don't have the same understanding of something that's fantasy because it may be interpreted completely different.
Exactly. That's very well put.
Okay, I think that will be that's will be helpful insight for others for sure. So turning to a little more general questions, how did you both get into the Lego hobby?
Tacos, you want to go?
Okay. I did not play with Lego at all. I was only gifted dolls as a kid. I built houses out of cereal boxes, Quaker oatmeal containers, even milk carton containers. Yeah, don't judge me. So I tried building cities out of that. So that kind of like city building was always with me, but I didn't actually play with Lego until after college. I went to college for I used to be a pre-K teacher, went back to school for engineering. There, everything I designed on Revit, which is like AutoCAD, just like on steroids. It was very whimsical, very childlike. I still wanted to work with children, but I didn't understand how to merge both those concentrations until I landed a job teaching engineering with Lego. And that's what I do now. So.
Well, for me, I've always been a tomboy. So I've always be more towards not so much dolls and stuff like that. And I was very into Lego. And when I started looking for a career, I really wanted to become like a toy designer. So I went into industrial designing. So that's my degree. I'm an industrial designer, and my goal was to work for a toy company. When they opened Lego in Mexico, in Monterrey, my hometown, I was very excited about that because I was halfway through my career. So Lego, it's a very awesome toy to discover as an industrial designer because it has so much engineering on it and you can do so much thing with it, like so much creativity. I've always been into building and puzzles and stuff like that. So after finishing college, I didn't get the job and my career path kind of changed. I started teaching. So I just like pivoted and then went back when my kids were young, like very young. I spent a lot of time home. So I started buying Lego sets. And now that my kids are like 9 and 6, now I play Lego with them. So that's also an activity that I can share with them. Like we can all share the same passion together. So that's it for me.
That's fantastic. As an engineer myself, I can totally identify the appeal of Lego to the engineering brain. Okay, last question for me is what advice do you have for adults just getting into Lego?
I would say that use other designer builders as an inspiration, but never get discouraged because we all start somewhere. Okay, so don't get discouraged by looking at the master builders. It doesn't matter. Anything you build, it's amazing because it came out of you. So it's just keep building. Don't get discouraged. Just get inspired. And that's it. Keep building.
So my last words weren't featured. Don't take yourself too seriously. It's a toy designed for kids. It's only plastic. All right. So try not to like let the tiny brick, overpower you. So just start off very basic. It doesn't matter. It's just a kid's toy.
That is great advice. And Tacos and Michelle, it's been great talking to you. I loved your builds. I really loved how you brought the Latin culture to all of your creations. And I am looking forward to meeting you at a Lego convention sometime in the future, hopefully at Brickworld Chicago next year.
I would love that.
We're going to dance together, right?
We will.
Zumba.
We'll do it. We'll do a Zumba class together at Brickworld Chicago.
Yes.
I got my playlist ready.
Down for that.
I have my playlist ready.
Michelle, Christine, good to see you again. It's been a while since Brickworld Chicago. Unfortunately, we're meeting in these circumstances, but I'm glad to see you guys again.
I'm glad to see you again too.
So I want to kind of piggyback a little bit on what Megan said. I want to talk about your build from episode 3. Your, correct me if I say this wrong, the Chabelita?
Chabelita.
Yes, I win. Okay. That thing scared the bejesus out of me, like full on nightmare style. It was so close to, the Day of the Dead, the skulls. Oh my goodness. It was fantastic. How did you manage to bring that kind of Day of the Dead into that build for that perfect representation? Because it was really spot on.
Listen,
I think, hold on. One thing is that Michelle, she is an artist. She sketches, but you first, in order to build anything, you kind of do some kind of scale drawing. Right away, she just started measuring. I'm like, what the heck? She doesn't realize how smart she is. So you guys have to, bring that into place. You know what I mean? Right away, she just started measuring. I'm like, what the heck? So yeah.
I wanted to have like very nice, ¿cómo se dice? Proportions. That's right. I know that skulls are something really creepy and scary, but that's something that we have a little something that we talk about before starting it, because Tacos, she's Dominican and they don't celebrate that. So she was like, this is kind of scary. So she was scared of going through with this idea, but she believed in me. She just supported me, and we decided to blend it together with her grandma. So that's why we call her Chabelita. They didn't feature that on the show, but we actually named her Chabelita for her grandmother. So I was really trying to express my culture and show to, all America that Day of the Dead is an amazing celebration. And even though skulls are kind of scary, for our culture are beautiful. I don't know if you've seen La Catrina. It's something that every time I see a picture of La Catrina, it just makes me very proud of my culture and all that Mexico is about. It's about folklore, colors, celebrating our ancestors, which is something very important for us, the family. So that build was very special. And the fact that we, out of all the builds, made her with such movement, it's just perfect. Mexico, she has the family there, tradición, and then she has all that moving and hair. We were like super proud of it.
I think I'm more impressed by the contrast of colors compared to everyone else. I think that's like the first thing that really popped.
And honestly, one of the inspirations for it, when Amy gave us the briefing of Amy and Jamie gave us the briefing of the challenge, she was like, we want to see movement. So the first thing that we thought is like, those limbs, they need to move. And what better than use technique as skeleton? Like technique is like the strongest. So I think it all like kind of like came together.
Well, it was an incredible build. It was probably, I hate to say it was probably my favorite on the show. Unfortunately, you guys weren't in the top, but what do they know anyway? So I wanted to talk about, there was a little bit of a low point, Michelle, but you came back and you kicked butt from it to a certain degree. Emily came over to you guys, well, to you more so, Michelle, and was kind of like consoling you. And it really shows that family theme that we always hear from the contestants. It's such a really close environment. So what did she say that maybe we didn't see that really got you and Christine really back into the challenge emotionally?
It was, I know how they feature stuff and the edit, how it all went down. Nobody really knows what's going on there. But just the fact that she took time out of her build to come and check out how we're doing, just to express words of support. That just means a lot, because in that time you are away from your family. I'm a mom, and this is the first time in 9 years that I'm away from my kids. I'm the primary caretaker of my boys, so I've never, ever been away from them until this moment. So it all kind of like came together in that moment of pressure, and just the fact that she came up to us and took the time to really just, offer words of support and kindness. It really meant a lot, what, this is hard. We are all away for our families, but we are a family all together. So it was really nice to have that kind of love and support from everyone there.
Oh, I didn't know if you were going to answer Christine or add on to it. So I didn't. I was just waiting. It wasn't.
She was the ultimate mom. I sent her a message today. I'm like, she is the cast mom. Like she needs to be. What is that? Typecast in every movie or whatever. She is America's sweet mom. Was talking about his mom. No. I'm sending her a Mother's Day card.
She's like the Tom Hanks of United States. Right?
Oh my gosh.
She's such a sweetheart.
And it's not just on screen. It's
Exactly.
genuine. She still reaches out to us. Like we're still chat in our group. We have a group chat every day.
Chica, she sent me a text this morning.
Yeah.
Like this big, telling me all kinds of beautiful stuff. Like she, like what you see on I'm actually really happy they showed that, because you missed a lot of stuff. But I'm glad they showed that, because it's just like America needs to see this woman and how awesome she is.
Mother's Day is dedicated to her this, next year. So
that's fantastic. Last question I have. Obviously, your low point is you guys aren't any longer on the show. But what would you say the major high point was for you throughout the entire process?
Meeting Michelle, hanging out with. My family has grown. You know what I mean? They're not blood, but seriously, I could walk away from the Lego community. I hate saying it like that. And I feel like I have gained a lot more. I feel like I already have my golden brick. You know what I mean?
Está muy bonito. Yes, Yeah, I believe that the bond that we all made. And also, that was pretty awesome when Jamie came up to our table, and said, he was dancing, and then he said, when we were building the Chabelita, he actually came up to us and said, "Wow, this is like the best use of technique I've seen in the whole tables." Like, I really wanted them to show that, but they didn't. It doesn't matter. It's here. So that's my highlight of the show. And a part of that, of course, the family that we built.
That's awesome. I love hearing that every time. It never gets old from every contestant. So sorry to see you guys go, but hopefully we cross paths again. So thanks again for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, Christine and Michelle. I'm always glad to talk to you, but super sad to talk to you under these circumstances. But you had such a fun run on the show. And, certainly the thing that struck me during last night's episode was what Amy had to say about the two of you, choking back tears, talking about what an inspiration that you're going to be to lots of other girls out there. And, obviously we got some of the reaction on the show, but I'd just love to understand from your perspective, what did it mean to hear that? And like, what went through your mind when you heard her say that to you?
I felt very proud of myself. I felt like I achieved something very big by making it that far. And honestly, the best of all is that I received a call from my family from Monterrey after it all finished. My mom was crying, my nieces were crying, and they were all saying, "Mija, I'm so proud of you. You are so graceful. You left with a big smile. Like, that's my girl." And I was like, oh my God, I made my mom proud. 36 years old, and that's still it's just awesome to feel.
I don't even know what to say. I work with kids every day, so they didn't get to see the video last night because obviously the episode was late, an hour, and it was past their bedtime, but I do it for them, so when Brickmaster Amy said that, it only confirms, the work that we did, and I believe that we can definitely inspire. Like, looking at Michelle, I smile when I see Michelle, you know what I mean? I really do hope that we're able to reach out mostly to the Hispanic, Latino population demographic. Like, we're pushed into these
Domesticated roles.
Domesticated roles, and there's more than that. Nothing wrong with that. I'm pro. Yeah, obviously, I'm gonna cook and clean for my family. I gotta feed my baby. But there's other options that we have. So I'm just grateful for these opportunities.
I love it, and I think it just goes to speak to how just authentic and genuine the two of you were on the show. And I know. When we talked before the season started airing, bringing your heritage forward, being as authentic to yourselves as possible was definitely kind of important to you going in. But now seeing it back, and I loved getting to see you speak in Spanish and all this sort of stuff, that we really got just a great chance to know you on the show. But kind of looking back on the experience, how do you feel about that component of all of your experience?
The part that we get to represent. Well, I feel like we've really did a good job with our builds on the show because they don't get too much. You give a ton of information coming up to the show, right? So they knew I'm from Mexico. They knew Tacos was from República Dominicana and all of that, but they don't mention it ever. So if we don't do that, if we don't put it out there, people will never know. So it was our job to really make us stand out as, we are this represents us and we are proud of it. And this is it. Like, to show to whoever's watching that we come from a beautiful culture and we're proud of it. So I wish we could have been a little bit longer, of course, because I feel we have so much more to show. Especially Tacos, she loves movement. I feel like she kind of, we need to see more of her because she is she loves all the gears and engineering. And I just hate the fact that we didn't get the chance to showcase her talent more. But you know what? I think for the time that we have, and the amount of pressure that we were on, we did great. And I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud of my teammate. I'm really proud of her, and I think I'm proud of what we did together on the show.
What was the question again? Try not to cry over here. Yeah, I'm just grateful for everything, you know, even the 5 a.m. calls. It helped build discipline. And, you know, after like we went home, I was still like in that pattern. I had to slow myself down. Like, I don't have to race. I don't have to. Yes, I have to clean up after my own Lego, you know, so that's not fun. You know, it's nice to have a team of like 16, 20 people out there. But just, you know,
I love how much they featured you speaking Spanish, especially because you have such a beautiful accent.
Oh, geez.
I love her accent. I'm from México, from el norte de México. Hablamos bien golpeado, como así, como en las series del sí. And when she talks Spanish, she's like, like she's dancing, like she's singing. So I love that. I love that they feature her speaking here.
Oh God. Sorry, I don't have much to say. She's the mouthpiece, clearly.
No, it was all perfect. And the only thing I'll say is, my last question I'll say is, you know, Christine, you said at the end, you know, we're winners. We made it this far. And I'm just, you know, what are you both taking away from this experience as you look to move forward?
We made it to Lego Masters. That's it. That's it. I'm sorry. Insert any expletives if you want, whatever, or hand gestures. We made it. You know what I mean? Everyone I know, everyone and their dog applied, or you know, was sought out, and it's just like, really, we made it, really? That's what we made it. How much personality this girl has? Have you seen her?
Hey, listen, we are part of
Not
Lego. We're part of Lego Masters history, and no one can take that away from us. So doesn't matter what people think, what people comment, we were part of Lego Masters, and we will ever be, like, como se dice, relacionadas to the brand,
associated
to the brand. So
my thing
it's a win.
That, and then being able to call friends from people from last seasons and in other countries as well, to be able to, you know, have that friendship. Yeah, we get to see each other like on social media, but once they realize, like, oh, we went through the same experience as you, it's just like, you know, it's just, once again, more relationships, strong relationships. So, you know, what an opportunity.
Well, thank you so much. And congrats on everything that you were able to do. I hope I'll get a chance to talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Of course.
Naomi. Michelle. So great to talk with you. I'm here representing the Brickanista Broadcast Network along with Remy. So I'll be asking the first question, and then Remy will go to the next question. I'll ask the third question. So first of all, I wanted to just tell you from a personal basis, both of you inspire me so much. Oh. And I cried again because I was able to watch it twice. And it was just like, no, don't send them home. And part of that is because I think because you are representing a demographic which is underrepresented in television, that you brought not only your joy, but also just you're just so talented in both of your unique areas. I've watched both of you on your channels, and I know that, well, I guess this is kind of a question for each of you to answer. As far as I know, Christine Tacos, that you focus a lot on STEM education for children. And then Michelle, you do a lot of like handy do-it-yourself kinds of things. So how are you taking those experiences plus your Lego background and maybe combining them to inspire children and other people?
Well, for me, it's just like, as long as you have creativity, you can use it with everything. You can build with Lego, like me. You can build with wood. You can build with clay. You can use any media to express yourself. So that's what I try to always inspire people to do. Like, it doesn't matter. Like you don't know how to do wood. There's Lego. You don't know, like there's tons of things out there to express yourself.
We all have to start somewhere. something as playing, what is it? Those webbed gears, you know what I mean? As gears can be really intimidating, especially when you talk about ratios or something like that. But something as simple as interlocking pieces to move one and it causes the other one, having that cause and effect, it can be really exciting. It can be very scary at first, but once you can see what you can do, something with a simple motion, I think it can open up a lot new interest, I guess, within the Lego or within even other things such as wood, craftsmanship, so just, yeah, that's it.
Well, I think I'm going to have to go pick up a saw someplace and do some woodworking. I just don't have the place to do it. Okay, the next question is going to be from Remy.
Hi, Tacos and Michelle. It's
Hi.
great seeing you. It was great meeting you at BrickCon. So yeah, I just have a question about what the future holds for both of you. Are you all working on a collab, or like where's the best convention next year to maybe get an autograph from you? What are your plans?
Well,
Chicago, definitely.
It's
mandatory. I'm not letting anyone go with, no, they have to go. They don't have a choice.
Chicago is the place to be. No, conventions, of course. I'm always going to try to make all the conventions I can within, my own personal thing that, my family and everything. I always want to be a part of the Lego community. I've met so amazing people, so I don't want to get away from that. And I want to also take this whole experience to be able to do more stuff with Lego. I have so many projects that I have on my mind, but the time is just like, I need like 48 hours in one day to just being able to do it all. But it's honestly, this experience have give me so much inspiration for so many projects. I'm pumped. Like, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning.
I'm not too plugged into the AFOL community. I work with kids, you know what I mean? So Instagram, it's just, someone called me content creator the other day. I'm like, no. I just, I upload every once in a while. It's more like my stories. But I still want to work with kids, I do offer like adult workshops. So I think I'm going to start featuring some of that virtually. Collaborating, of course, with Michelle is, always something that has to happen, so
yes.
It has to happen.
Especially because there's not too many AFOLs that want to dance. So at least some dance collab videos we need to do, at least.
So yeah, just something more. I started a Twitch channel. I have not uploaded anything, but I want it to be more STEM based. So eventually collaborating with other Lego enthusiasts who have a similar interest.
All right. Well, that's great. We'll definitely look forward to, seeing what y'all create in the future. So now I'm going to throw it back to Naomi.
Me again. I wanted to just reiterate what you mentioned about Emily, about her and her being the whole show's mom. And she was also a mom to many of us at the show at BrickCon. I was curious if you were to think about how people would describe you on the show, how would you think people view you as in your experience on the show?
Oh, wow, that's hard because my perception of me is very different than what people actually see. I tend to be very hard on myself, but from what I've heard of with comments, I feel like people can see the joy and the passion that Lego brings out of me. And I hope that just gets to stick with people and, try to pursue their own passions. Just like looking and seeing that if you really want to do something, like you can go on a TV show and do it. So I hope that I get to inspire people that way.
I don't know. All I focused were all the many stroke faces that I had that they captured. I feel like that's all they captured of me. It's like, what? It's like the smelling the fart, face that Joey makes on Friends. I feel like that's what they got of me. So I can't think of anything, honestly.
Well, I can just tell you that from me and for many others, both of you are such an inspiration, and you mentioned Emily as being the mom of the show. Well, you two, to me, were the joy of and the embracing the joy of life. And I just wanted to thank you both. It's so sad that we're not going to keep seeing you on the show, but you have left such an amazing impression on so many people. Want to thank you for that.
Oh, thank you so much, Naomi. That's very nice.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you. Very much appreciated.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so I was just gonna say, straight off the bat, I just want to say, congratulations for getting this far into Lego Masters. I think it's like such a huge. I think especially it gets this far, if it really feels like you get that kind of. It's so the competition is so strong because like everyone there is just absolutely amazing. And I know obviously in this week you were obviously struggling quite a lot to kind of come up with what you ended up coming up with, but then once I actually saw what you made, I was really amazed by it. I thought it was incredible. So I guess my first question would be when it comes to going from working from home and doing everything at home, and when you've got your own time and all that kind of stuff, and you're using your own sort of your own Lego. What it's like from going from that to being in the studio and obviously having that sort of that really short time frame to come up with something.
It makes me want to up my game with the storage system and variety. You have over 3,300 pieces, I think. And I have a variety, but I don't think it's as vast as that. So
I have a little trouble understanding because of the accent. You talk very fast English. I'm so sorry. I couldn't understand the question. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. So yeah, I guess I'll sort of try and repeat. But basically, what I was asking was because of sort of comparing, going from being at home with your own Lego and also doing it in your own time versus being in the studio when you've got things are set up differently and you're not using your own Lego.
Oh, okay. It was challenging because for me, I don't have too many pieces. So I'm used to getting extra creative with the part of the usage part. It was overwhelming to see that I have that amount of bricks. We were just dumping stuff in the bins. It just try to, I'm not used to building with a huge amount of Lego. So it was overwhelming. And the first episode, I think, was the worst one because of that, because you don't know where anything is. You don't know what's going on. This is the first challenge. So as you go on, you get the hang of everything and you just understand better of, the pieces placement and everything. But still, the fact that you have so little time and as you all seen in episode 4, like if you don't have the idea right away, like the clock is just running and your time is limited, and it's como se dice, como una bola que va subiendo, like a
ball, a snowball. It keeps snowballing.
Exactly. So yeah, overwhelming, I would say.
Oh yeah, as well. I guess another thing that I often think about is the way that you go from working with with limitations of what you have, which I think is in itself a really creative kind of process. And then I think the approach of going from that to going with basically you virtually unlimited kind of amount of Lego. I can imagine that being quite overwhelming. Yeah.
And sorry if I want to add something. And also, then the pieces that you're used to use, they're not there. It's like, it's weird. It's just weird. Like you would think that they have certain pieces, like they don't. So it's just like you have to adapt. and you have to overcome quick.
Yes, I think in any sense, like however like experienced of a builder you are, I think you're all kind of put in that kind of sort of level playing field where you're basically out of your comfort zone, essentially. Yeah. So another question I wanted to ask is that experience, has that really sort of changed the way that you approach the way that you build stuff at home as well, and the way you organize things?
For me, no. I keep organizing the things the same way as I used to. I did try to go and buy some of those bins, but they're expensive. I don't spend money like that. I try to. It's not a choice for me. Of course, as big as my Lego collection is going, I start sorting differently. But for me, the sorting is exactly the same. It just, what it did spark on me, maybe it was just like the fact that, hey, I need to keep building. I need to prove people that I can do stuff.
With me, in the past, just like Michelle, I build with what I have. I don't buy off Bricklink. I now find myself purchasing off of Bricklink so I could actually build in advance. And I just started using Studio, something that I'm surprised they haven't started doing on Lego Masters season 4. So I'm grateful they didn't have that, in the cards for us this past season, because I would have been like a whatever. But yeah, ordering in bulk, like that's something that, my mocks are getting larger, I guess. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I guess another thing I'd like to ask as well is which I've asked like a lot of the contestants before as well, is how much do you find yourself like thinking about how you would build things just like in everyday life? Like if you're looking like at a building or just like everyday objects, how often are you is that sort of Lego on your mind in terms of like how you'd build something?
That was that was there for me before the show. Like I see like I actually post a story, I swear to God, in Houston, there's a building that has like a round stud. I swear. I was like, I just like, I think that happens to all fans of Lego. Or you see an amazing sculpture built and you think like, that will be like something cool out of Lego, stuff like that. I think that didn't change after the show. It was there before.
Same. I'll sometimes just take a picture and I'm like, oh, keep that, in the back of my mind kind of thing. So, or I'll literally have a notepad with just, ideas.
I guess like my last kind of question would be, when it comes to, I guess, because, something that I feel like the Lego building community is very much a community that is, in person, and you're getting to meet lots of people, in real life, which is a really, really valuable experience. What is it like, sharing that, sharing your passion for the brick building with, sort of like-minded people?
It's cool to interact with people who have similar interests. I think for me, it's more like my family who still doesn't understand Lego. My parents don't understand. I hate to say they don't watch the show. But when they did get to see a couple clips, they're like, I took my mother to the Lego store for the first time last fall, and her eyes were like, bing, bing. They're like overstimulated, still trying to understand everything. So coming from a culture that does not play so much, they focus more on sports. I think that was my biggest kind of takeaway from this.
Question was, how does it feel to share?
Yeah. So sort of, how does it feel to share the kind of like that kind of experience with sort of people that, like-minded people? Yeah.
Okay. First, I didn't know there were so many people like me. I swear, I was like, I thought it was like different. I've never met before social media and Lego Masters and all of this. I I've never met anybody around me that like Lego as an adult. So all of the things that I like and I enjoy, I always try to keep them to myself, because it's just like I take it out in a conversation and no one gets it. Like, what is she talking about? She's talking about toys. She's talking about, like, no. So when actually Lego Masters Season 1 started, that was when I started to connect with social media and discover all this world of adults fan of Lego, that even though I was a Lego fan, I did not know that there was like such a big community of adults out there who really enjoy the hobby. So actually Lego Masters, the show, for me, was the thing that kind of opened those doors for me. And that's when I started to, see, oh my goodness, like, wow. So now that I'm part of this show, it's awesome, because now the people that know me and people back in my hometown, that, Lego is not a big thing in Mexico. Well, Lego is an expensive hobby. And in Mexico, it's different. Like, people barely make it to the day-to-day. So we cannot afford that kind of hobby, like most of us. So now being able for those people back home to see what I do, it's kind of like opening a new door for them, for those little girls that, all my nieces' friends, that they're watching the show because of me. Like, oh my God, like, there's adults that play with like, it's just like whole experience. I think that for me, it's just going to resonate and back home and, make people know that, we as an adult, as a Mexican woman, we can play with Lego and we can do pretty cool stuff.
Can I add that it could be a little intimidating? There are people that have been building since they were in the placenta. So I know that's graphic. I'm a mom, I'm sorry. So for the example, the rookies that just came in, yeah, they got a free pass. No, I'm just joking. These kids have been building since they were like peanuts, and it's just like I didn't start doing it until like less than 10 years ago. So it's a little intimidating, because here they have this vast knowledge of every little article, and it's just like, what's that? Creative? Isn't that the same thing? You know what I mean? So just trying to stay up to date with everything, regardless of the history, we still have that same passion. Some of us just have a lot more experience with it. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's really kind of a hugely valuable thing. I think is just being able to share something like that, where you're kind of, as well, regardless of your background or how long you've been sort of working, building, I guess, is that like you're able to not you're able to share that, and also you're not having to kind of like do all the kind of explaining that you would for like everybody else. It's like everyone gets it,
Mm-hmm.
And something that I definitely get from like sort of hearing like you guys kind of like your behind the scenes kind of experience is that and you obviously you only get like a small sort of percentage of it from in watching the show, because obviously it's edited, but like I do generally get the impression from that like everyone really gets on, and everyone really kind of there's that passion there, and it's really kind of brings people together, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Absolutely. And yeah, the diversity that it's on the on the hobby. There's kids, there's like the grandpuppies, there's moms, there's firefighters, there's doctors, there's everyone, and we're all sharing the same passion, and that's awesome that they get to showcase that on TV.
Well, that's going to wrap up another lovely interview, this time with Christine Tacos and Michelle, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thought it was a very interesting interview. It was very insightful, and it was very kind of high energy, aside from the down question I asked. I always have to be the downer, but you got to ask those questions. You got to get that information out, for people to know. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. And we've got more stuff coming later this week. We've got more Lego Masters. We've got other things that are coming. So stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff rolling out this week. So until we meet again, I'm your minifig host, Matt. let's build on it.